any class next week. So I'm will be outstation for the whole week. And then the following week we have a class, and then you have a test at night at 28 night. Okay, 9 p.m. Okay, so our test on 28, basically the scope for the test, okay, chapter 1, 2, 3, 10 and 11, all the descriptive, don't have any calculation. That's mean you need to explain. If I ask you what the characteristic of project manager, you just explain. Maybe I mentioned give me 3 characteristic of the project manager, a good project manager. So you just explain, give me 1 point how to become a good project manager. Okay, so the scope for the test, chapter 1, 1, sorry, 1, 2, 3, and then 10 and 11. That's mean under introduction and also project team. That's mean leadership, effective project manager, type of project, okay, project structure, organization structure, project performance, 1, 2, 3, 11, and 10 and 11. Okay, okay, the scope for okay, I repeat. The scope for the test 1, 2, 3, 10, 11. Yes, correct. 1, 3, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 10, 11. Yes. Okay. And then the duration 1 hour. Okay, we start at 9, but I give you 5 minutes before we start. Okay, I post the question using our group WhatsApp. Okay, at 9, and then you have 5 minutes to read all the question to understand everything. I give you 5 minutes. And then we will start at 9:05. So 1 hour. So we finish at 10:05. And then I give you another 5 minutes to sort out everything, to take a photo, to make it in a PDF file, to make in one file. If 3 questions, you combine in one file and upload in the e-learning. Under test 1, under section 1. You are under section 1. So basically, I give you 1 hour 10 minutes. But up to you, up to you. In 1 hour 10 minutes, up to you. If I give you the question, you straight away to answer point, it's okay, no problem. The most important thing, in 1 hour 10 minutes, before 10 10 minutes after 10, before 10:10, okay, you can upload your answer in the e-learning. So that's mean we have 1 hour 10 minutes to answer the question. Okay, so make sure you upload in the e-learning the latest 10 minutes after 10. So you have extra 10 minutes actually. Okay. Okay, so that's mean from 9 to 10, 10. So on 28, 28. So the weightage for the test 20%. Okay, so this is for the test. Anything to ask about the test? Okay. Can you see the slide?
Yes.
Sorry. Sorry. Chapter 8. Okay, can you see the slide? Class? Yeah, right. Okay, so we are now in chapter 8. Okay. Chapter 8, where is it? Chapter 8, where chapter 8? Okay, so we are now in week 9, yeah? Week 9, and then week 10, don't have any class. Week 11, we have test. Okay, so scheduling resources. Okay, so we are now under chapter 8. So we have another 5 chapters to complete the curriculum. Okay, and then basically chapter 6, 7, 8, 9, and 13 is more to calculation. Chapter 6, 7, 8, 9, and 13 is more to calculation. But for the test one, all the question is subjective. I mean descriptive from chapter 1, 2, 3, 10, and 11. So all question for test are subjective, descriptive. That means you need to describe something. And then for the final exam, mix, maybe most of the question are calculation, and maybe some of the question is descriptive as well, but more to calculation for the final exam, because chapter 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are calculation chapters. So we are now in chapter 8. Chapter 6, I teach you how to develop a network and analyze the network using critical path method. We do it forward analysis, backward analysis. And then you need to remember the format of the format at the note, di mana we divided into 8 section. Okay, the first column, the first row, on the left early start, on the right early finish, at the middle is a identification, and then the middle row, okay, on the left is a slack time, and then at the middle we describe what the activity, what the name of the activity, and then at the bottom row on the left early finish, on the right early start, and then at the middle is a duration. So this is under chapter 6. And then chapter 7, I talking about the race, because in chapter 6 we only put one time only. Let's say you are going to Johor Bahru from Skudai, you put half an hour. If nothing happen, it's good, half an hour. But if something happen at the middle, maybe accident, flooding, and so on, so maybe you cannot reach half an hour, maybe more than that. So it's a risk. Risk of what? Because if you have an interview at 3, so if you plan half an hour, so maybe you from your house in Skudai at 2:30, based on your planning, you will reach at 3 because half an hour. But something happened at the middle in Tampoi and so on, accident and so on, you cannot reach at 3. So you miss interview. So it's a risk. So in order to manage the risk, so that's why I teach you PERT, PERT in chapter 7, Program Evaluation Review Technique. That means each activity we divided into 3 times: minimum, maximum, and most likely. Okay, so most likely time is from chapter 6, but we put the range. Let's say a normal to going to JB half an hour. But maybe if nothing happened, we can reach in 20 minutes. But if something happened, maybe takes about 45 minutes. So the range between 20 to 40 minutes is a per time. That means all each activity we give something like tolerant, basically between 20 to 45 minutes. But if nothing happen, we target is half an hour. Half an hour chapter 6. But in chapter 7, we give a range between 20 to 45 minutes. And then if you have a range, it's difficult to you to calculate the time, early start, early finish, and so on. So what we need to do, you need to calculate expected time or average time for each activity. That means you remember TE equal to A plus 4M plus B divided by 6. Why 6? Because we based on ratio A for B, 1A for B plus 1A plus 4N plus 1B. That's 6. And then you need to find segregation for each activity. And then all the calculation after that is based on TE time. So TE time is similar with the chapter 6 because we consider one time only. Early start, early finish, forward analysis, late start, early start, late start, forward analysis, early finish, late finish, backward analysis, same with chapter 6. And then because each activity have a range, so we can predict. Based on analysis, let's say 70 days. But normally we have a range, each activities. Maybe we can predict if 75 days, how many percent? If 80 days, how many percent? Because all activity, we make it time in, we get, that means it's not fixed one fixed time. So we have a range between 10 to 20 and so on. So this is chapter 7. Why we put in 3 times? Because we try to avoid risk. Right? So let's say for your CPA, let's say you target CPA, or your CPA this semester must be 3.7. This is chapter 6. By hook by crook, you need to get 3.7. I think very risk. Okay, because maybe something happened during your final exam, and then you cannot answer the final exam properly and so on, so you cannot receive that. If you put your CPA this semester between 3.5 to 3.7, let's say, more safe. More safe. Because you have a range. That is chapter 6, chapter 7. So now we're going to chapter 8. Scheduling resources. Okay, scheduling resources. So now we need to schedule all the resources. What are the resources? For example, people resources, material resources, machinery resources. Something like you want to, your project is you want to manage a house renovation. And then you need to have a people to do the work. Resources. You need to have a material, something like a cement, something like a brick, something like a paint, and so on. These are resources. And also you need a machinery. Let's say you need a what? I don't know, something like the scaffolding or any equipment, crane, and so on. Because sometimes you do it at the upper level. So you need a crane, to help you to paint at the upper level. So this is a machinery resources. So how to schedule that one? So this is chapter 8. Okay, and then chapter 9 and chapter 13 also calculation. Okay, so today if we can finish chapter 8 is good enough, and then we continue with the other chapters after after next week. Okay, and then why we need to plan all the resources? Because this is our key, our key in successful managing the project. Okay, the success of the project depend on the resources, depend on the workers, depend on the material, depend on the machinery. If you don't have machinery, how you to painting at the upper level? If you don't have cement, how to make a wall? If you don't have a worker, how to run the work? So this is very important. Then we need to manage properly. Okay, why we need to manage? Because maybe the resources is something like constraint for your project. Something like you don't have enough workers. You shortage of material. You don't have machinery. So this is can something that you need to look properly. You need to plan properly. Okay. So this is resources, and then what type of constraint? Okay? Is divided into three types. The first thing is technical constraint. Technical constraint that means you don't have any technology. You do it manually, everything manually. So currently we not do it manually anymore. Most of the activity is either we do it using machinery or we do it something that help you to improve the job. So there is technical constraint. And then the second is physical constraint. Physical constraint that means something like raining, because your project is paint repainting the wall, school wall, and then because you do it outside, so it depends on the weather. Is that day if that day rainy, so you cannot perform the job. So it's physical constraint. And then the third one is resource constraint. Shortage of material, shortage of workers, don't have any equipment, and so on. This is why you need to manage properly. Okay, so in order to avoid all these constraints, we don't want any technical constraint happen. We don't want any physical constraint happen in your project, and we don't want any resources constraint. Okay, so if you can manage these three constraints properly, I believe your project can be successful and it can be finished on time. Okay. Okay, this is example for technical constraint. Technical constraint that mean, let's say we're looking at the first row here. That's mean three activities here: roof, frame, and upper. So that's mean you need to make sure before you proceed to another process, make sure the previous process must be finished first. Okay. Same thing with the below level here: design, coding, and testing. So make sure before you start testing, you need to complete coding first. Before you start coding, you need to complete the design first. So this is basic technical. If you cannot complete design on time, that means you cannot coding. If you cannot complete coding on time, of course, testing cannot perform. So this is technical aspect, constraint. So please make sure every activities, you do it on time. Okay. Okay. And then resource constraint, you do it concurrently. All three activities you do it at the same time. So make sure if you do like this, make sure you have enough material, you have enough resources, you have enough machinery, because you do it concurrently. all the activity you do it in the same time. So if one activity you need one workers, so that means you need three workers at one time. If you have only three workers, and sorry, one activity you do it three workers, so you need six workers to complete three activities here. Two, two, two. If you have only three workers, so you cannot complete the activities because one activity you need two workers. So this is resource constraint. Make sure you have enough workers. Okay. And then what type of resource constraint? Hmm? First one, people. People is workers. Refer to worker. People. This is the main resources. Okay. And then second important thing is material. Yeah. Okay. You need to have people. You need to have a material as well. And then the third one is equipment, machinery. Because some of the job now they didn't do it manually anymore. Something like cement mixer to mix a cement. So you need a machine. Okay. And then the last one, it is also important, it's a capital budget. You need to have enough budget. If you have people, you have equipment, you have material, but you don't have enough budget to perform the work, to pay the salary and so on. So you cannot perform properly. Yeah. Okay. Clarification of scheduling problem. This is that constraint we need to consider lah. That's why you need to learn this topic because normally you can face a lot of constraint. Okay, as I mentioned, as I explained before lah. Okay. Okay, and then resource allocation method. Okay, and then I will explain detail about the how to schedule the resources after this. Okay, that's me. Okay, time constraint project. Okay, so because what? Because uh, uh, because normally when we talking about the project, our first target is time. Easy. You go to tailor, to make a uniform, okay, uniform. And then I think the most important thing, they will ask you when you want to get this. So this is a time. And then every time you handle any project, the first thing in your mind is time. When it's going to finish? When it's going to finish? Okay. So based on time, we try to manage the rest. We try to manage the budget. We try to manage the resources and so on. So time is a main constraint. Okay. Let's say here, for example, here, botanical garden. So in order to complete the botanical garden, so from the beginning until the end, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 7 activities. We start with the design, the botanical garden, and then we develop layout, and then we construct walkway. Okay, we install lighting. Okay, and then we develop irrigation, and then we install fan and wall, and then we plant maybe any we planting any plant, okay, any type of flower, any type of anything. So And then, so this is the time. If you see the red one, here is the time. That's mean design takes about, let's say, in days here. Design take 1 days. And then when you finish design, you develop a layout. Layout takes about 3 days. Okay, start from day 1 until day 4, 3 days. And then when you finish layout, you can start with walkway, irrigation, fan and wall at the same time. So you need to consider here, that means 3 activities you need to do at the same time. So all of this activity takes about 6 days. You finish at day 10. And then when you finish walkway, you proceed with the lighting. Lighting takes about 6 days. So finish at day 16. And then when you finish lighting, irrigation and fan a wall, and then lastly, you proceed with planting. Planting takes about 8 days. So you finish at days 24. So in order to complete the botanical garden, you takes about 24 days. And then you see here in the box here, they mention about the resources. So to make this thing easy for you to understand, I just consider one resources only. The resource is a machinery. Machinery here we call it backhoe. You know backhoe? In Malay, jentolak lah. Backhoe is backhoe. Okay. Jentolak backhoe. So for the layout and for this activity, layout and Scarify, we need 2 backhoe. Walkway, we need 1 backhoe. Irrigation, we need 1 backhoe. Fence and wall, we need 2 backhoe. Lighting, we need 1 backhoe. And planting, we need 3 backhoe. So this is resources. So resources here is referring to equipment. We have 3 type resources just now, 4 type resources just now. If you still remember, people, material, equipment, and capital. So now we're talking about equipment only to avoid you confused. Just consider for one type of resources only. Okay, based on this, we can make it a loading chart. This loading chart. Loading chart is to determine at one time how many backhoe we need. How many backhoe needed in order to complete these activities. So you see here, for the design, we don't need backhoe because design is we only need people. In this case, we consider only equipment, machinery. So at day 1 until day 3, until day 4, only layout, only this activity. So this activity, we need 2 backhoe. So that means it's a number of backhoe required. So day 1 to day 4, we need to have 2 backhoe. Here, 2 backhoe. And then with 4 until with 10, we need 2, 3, 4. We need 4 backhoe. With 4 until with 10, we need 4 backhoe. 2 backhoe for fence and wall, 1 backhoe for irrigation, 1 backhoe for walkway. So we need 4 altogether. And then for with 10 until with 13, we need only 1 backhoe. 1 backhoe. And then for with 16 to 24, we need 3 backhoe. So we need 3 backhoe here. So you understand this? How we draw this chart, you understand? Class?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, right, thank you. So if you refer to this chart, it's something like the loading is not balanced. Sometimes you need 2 backhoe. Sometimes you need 4 backhoe. Sometimes you need 1 backhoe. It's not good for the planning. Because what? Because based on this planning, you need 4 backhoe actually. Because what? The maximum is 4. But at the beginning, you only need 2. So you just use 2 backhoe. And then 4 and 10, you need 4 backhoe. And then for 10 to 16, you need 1 backhoe only. So 3 backhoe didn't work. It's not good. So how to plan to make it in order to have 4, maybe you don't need 4. So you need to plan properly. So based on this, just for example here, just for example here, so that's uh, mean for the week 1 and week 2, okay, week 1 we have two, no, week 1, for the day 1 to day 4, we have 2 backhoe. And then we try to manage this one. Maybe in order to minimize the number of backhoe, so for the week 4 to week 10, we only do it fan and wall. And then walkway and irrigation, we move to follow another week, another days. Yeah. So you see here, week 4 to week 10, only 2 backhoe. So that means we using this one. And then this, we move to week 10 to week 16. This one also we move to week 10 to week 16. That's why week 10 to week 16, instead of 1 backhoe, we use 3 backhoe. 1 backhoe for the walkway, 1 backhoe for the lighting, 1 backhoe for the irrigation, because we move to week 10 to week 16. And then week 16 to 20, we maintain 3 backhoe. So if you compare these two, this schedule is better than table number 2. It's call it table number 1, table number 2. Table number 2 is better than table number 1. Why? Because in table number 2, we don't need 4 backhoe. We only need 3 backhoe only. So we save 1 backhoe, because 1 backhoe maybe, because the price of backhoe may be very expensive. Let's say the price of the 1 backhoe is 100,000. Let's say. So if we buy 4, because in order to follow the table number 1, so we need to 4 backhoe. 1 backhoe 1,000, so we need to pay 400,000. But sometimes we only need 1. So other 3 is idle, didn't work. So if we manage properly, so we don't need 4 actually. We need 3 only. So we save 1 backhoe. If you can manage properly, maybe we need 2, and not for this case. Maybe we need 2. So you save another backhoe. This is, we call it scheduling. We call it resources scheduling. Okay. So we try to optimize the numbers of resources, but the project can be done properly. I mean, we try to manage resources properly to optimize the resources, but didn't affect to the duration of the project. You see here, project still can be done in 24 days. But we can manage properly. Instead we need 4, and we need 3 only. And then it almost constant, maybe from week 1 to week 10, we need 2. But the rest, we need 3. So if we have 3, it's good enough. Compared to the original planning, we need 4. So this is, we call it resources scheduling. So you understand this example before we proceed further? Yeah. Okay. So if you understand, you can ask me anytime. This is advantage. How why we need to manage properly. The first thing can reduce the cost. From 4 backhoe we only need 3 backhoe only. And then the second thing, we can level the process, not something like this. Sometimes 2, sometimes 4, sometimes 1. It's not nice. This one is almost nice, almost level, So even though at the beginning we need 2, but the rest we need 3. So nice, eh? Okay, so this, and then how to manage something like this to stable, to optimize. So we need to look at the slack time. This is the importance of slack time. That's mean for this case we can delay activity, walkway and irrigation can delay. Why we can delay? Because uh, based on slack time, we know we can delay the activity because slack time is, remember in chapter 6, slack time shows that the activity can be delayed based on slack time. If slack time 10 days, that means the activity can be delayed 10 days. So because we need to stable the resources, so we can delay walkway and irrigation because the slack time shows that this activity can be delayed. I will show you later. Okay. Okay. So this is the example. Okay. This is the example. So this is from chapter 6 actually. If you still remember, we have a box here and then we divide into 7. Yeah, 7. Like divide into 8. But here they make it 9. But you see legend here. Here is the same value. SLK, that means slack time. They put the both side slack time but the same value. And then the difference at the middle here, if chapter 6 we put it description, here we put resources. Resources, that means how many people, how many machinery that we need. So please have a look this example. Okay, and then this is activity number 1, and then this is 2P here is a resources, 2 is a duration, and then 0 here is a early start, 2 early finish, 0 is at the bottom here is a no, this one is early start, early finish. This one is late start and late finish. And then here is a slack time. So you need to analyze this network. Something like I explained to you in chapter 6. Okay, do it a forward analysis to get early start, early finish, and then followed by backward analysis to determine the late start and late finish. And then you can calculate the slack time. Slack time, early start minus late start minus late start minus early start. That means 0 minus 0, 0. 8 minus 2, 6 here. Okay? So based on this, you can determine the critical activity. Critical activity, okay, if you still remember, slack time 0 represent critical activity. Slack time 0, that means the activity cannot be delayed. So you see dotted box here. Dotted box here is a critical activity, critical activities. Why critical activities? Because slack time, all the slack time are 0. That means cannot be delayed. And then the path along the dotted box here is, we call it critical path. That means this path determine the project duration. This project takes about 12 days. If month, 12 month. Because this is a long dotted box. Okay, along dotted box here is critical path. Critical path shows that the project duration 12 here. If the data in month is 12 months, if the data in days 12 days, doesn't matter. Okay, and then you see on 2p here, on the at the middle of the box here is 2p. 2p, that means 2% resources. 2%, 2%, 1%, 1%, 1%, and 1%. So you need to schedule this one into like this. So how to get this table? This table you can get it from chapter 6, analysis here. Early start, early finish, forward analysis, backward analysis, and determine the slack time. So you get all of this. And then from this one, you transfer into this table. This table, so the first column is ID. Identification is from the here 1, 2, 3, okay, until 7 activities. And then the next column is resources. Just take here. Activity 1, 2p. Activity 2, 2p. Activity 3, 2p. And then activity 7, 1p. Just put here. And then the next column is duration. Duration is down here. Activity 1, 2 days. Activity 2, 6 days. Activity 3, 4 days. Put here. And then early start. State early start here. Activity 1, 0. Activity 2, 2. Activity 3, 2. Early start. Early start here. And then late finish. Late finish here. Late finish. Activity 1, 2. Activity 2, 10. Activity 3, 6. Late finish. And then next is a slack. SLK, slack. Just take the value at the middle here. 0, 2, 0, 6. 0, 2, 0, 6. And then 2, 0, 0. 2, 0, 0. This is data from network. You just take it, this value from the networks. Okay, so please make sure in order to get the right data here, you need to have a right network first. And then after you get right network, you need to analyze properly this network, make sure you get the right result. If you get the wrong network and then you wrong result, of course, your analysis here also must be wrong because you based on this. Okay. Any question until here? Okay. So okay. So you understand until here. So how to fill up the red one here? So based on this, activity number one, you need 2 people. And then activity number one takes about 2 days from 0 to 2. That's means activity number one, this is a time, time. From 0 to 14. Even though we have 12 here, but we put more time lah until 14. Okay. So activity number one, 0 to 2. 0 to 2. And then every time we need 2 people. Activity number 2, from 2 to 8. Activity number 2, from 2 to 8. Okay, from 2 to 8. So 2 to 8, that means 2 to 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Until here, please ignore another 2. Just until 8. Okay, until 8. Activity number 3, 2 to 6. 2 to 6. Okay, 2 to 6. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Until 6, 6. And then activity number 4, 2 to 4. 2 to 4, 2 to 4. Just 2, 3, 4. Just 2. Activity number 5, 6 to 8. Make sure activity number 2, 3, and 4 after 1. After 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5 after 3. 5 after 3. 3 finish here. And then you start with the 5. 5, 6 to 8. That means 2 days, 6 to 8. Okay, and then 6 after 3. 6 to 10, 6 after 3, 6 after 3, after 3, finish 3, 6, 6 to 10. And then 7 after 5 and 6. After 5 and 6, 7. So even though 5 finish at 8, but you cannot start 7 because in order to start 7, you need to 5 and 6 finish. 6 finish at 10. So the earliest you can start 7 is 10. And then 2 days, 10 to 12. So, and then you put the resources. Okay, for the activity 1, 2 people. Activity 2, 2 people until 8. Activity 3, 2 people until 6. Activity 4, 1 people until 4. Activity 5, 1 people until 8. 1 people until 8. That means 7, 8. Activity 6, 1 people until 10. That means 1, 1, 1, 1. And activity 7, 1 people until 12. 1 people until 12. So that means 0, 1, 2, 3. I think if you have a print out with you, please corrected the time here. That means 0 here, 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 11, 12, 11, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is correct. 1, 0, 1, 2 correct. But 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, please make it in the right place. 2 here, 2 at the line after 1, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You get it? Yeah. All right. Okay. So any question on this? Any question or not? Okay, no question. Okay. I think can we break? Yeah. Yeah.
Why the number 1 at the below?
Sorry?
Why the number 1 at the below?
Why number 1?
At below. And
Here.
uh-huh.
This is the total resources. This one 2. This one 2. This one 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. This one 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. This one 2, 4. This one 2, 4. This one 2, 3, 4. This one 2, 3, 4. This one 1, 1. This one 1, 1. Total resources.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Same?
Understand, Doctor?
Okay, all right. Can we break for 5 minutes? I need to have a drink for 5 minutes. And then we continue at 5 past 4. Yeah. uh, so we need maximum 5 people, to perform this project. Week one, day one, day two, two, and then five, four, four, one, and one. So that's mean we need 5 people. So okay, basically this company only have 3 people only. So that's mean week one, week two, okay, but week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cannot because this company only have 3 people. So you need to rearrange the schedule to make sure uh, arrange the schedule to make sure you no need to add the people because the company only have 3. So by hook by crook you need to manage in such a way that every week maximum only 3. So for the week 1 and 2 is okay because only 2, you have 3, fine. But for the week 3, so you need 5, but you only have 3. And then referring to the slack time, activity 2 you can delay 2 days, activity 4 you can delay 4 days, activity 3 cannot delay. So that means you cannot delay activity 3, but you can delay activity 2 or activity 6. Okay, and then in order to maintain 3 people, you need to delay activity 2 because the 2 you need to have 2 people. If you delay activity 4, you still need 4, but you're available only 3. So you don't have any choice. You only can delay activity 2 because if you delay activity 2, so the total resource here is 3. So fine. But if you delay activity 4, so the total resources you need 4. You only have 3. So that's mean give you some idea. That mean you only can delay activity 2 one day. Let's say 1 day. That's mean cross here. That's mean you delay 1 day. So if you delay 1 day, so that's mean early start instead of 2, you start at 3. And that's why you cross 3 here because you delay 1 day. And then your slack time now from 2 just left 1 because you already delay 1 day. Okay, this is so this period is fine. Okay, and then same thing with the period 4, 5, and 6. That's mean even though activity 2 can delay 2 days, but you don't have any choice. That's mean you need to delay activity 2 until week 6 because your constraint is 3 people. If you do it activity 2 at day 4, you still need 5. Cannot. You do it at day 5, you still need 4. Also cannot because your constraint you only have 3. So what you need to do, you need to delay activity 2 until week 6. So that's mean week 3, 3 people, week 4, 3 people, week 5, 2 people, week 6, also 2 people. So that's mean you need to start activity 2 here. Okay. So we go into the next period. Okay. So that's mean you cannot start activity 2 at week 3. Week 2 cannot. Week 3 cannot. Week 4 cannot. Week 5 also cannot. So you can start activity 3 at week 6. If you start at week 6, that means you will finish at So take about 6 days. We finish at week 12. So that's mean week 12 here. You see dotted line here, week 12. So that's mean activity uh, activity activity 2. Okay, instead of you start at week 2, now you start at week 6. So 6 days. So take about so finish at week 12. Okay, and then you understand until here? And then because activities 2 you finish at week 12, so that's mean you cannot start activity 7 because activity 7 you need to finish activity 2 first. You finish activity 2, you can start activity 7. So that's mean activity 7 cannot do it at with day 10 until day 12 because activity 2 finish at day 12 like this here. Okay, so okay, now you settle until week 6. So we go to week 7. Week 7. Okay, so here you cannot delay anymore for the week activity 2, but what you can do now, okay, uh, you have another activity 4 settle. Okay, activity 5 and 6. Activity 5, you can delay 2 days. Activity 6 cannot be delayed. So that means you can delay activity 5 for 2 days. And then activity 6 cannot be delayed. So activity 6 you need 1. So that means you need to delay activity 5, okay, until you finish activity 6. So that means here you have 2 and 6, 3. 2 and 6 also 3. 2 and 6, 3, 2 and 6, 3. And then activity 5, okay, activity 5, you need activity 5 takes about 2 days, so you need to start at day 10. So you start day 10, that's mean in at day 10 and at day 11 at day 12, that means you have activity 2 and 5. So 2 plus 1, 3, 2 plus 1, 3, and then you need to move this activity to another days. So that's mean at day 13 and day 14. So this is 1, 1 and 1. So that's mean you see here, you only have 3 people. So all the time you no need extra people. So because the maximum here is 3 people, so you do not need to add the cost to get another people. So that is the important thing. Because you maintain this one, you need to add another 2 people at week 3, 4, and then add another 1 people with 5, 6, 7, 8. But you only have 3 people only. That means you need to have to hire another people. So you manage this one, no need to hire another people because you can manage the project with 3 people, but you need to extend your project 2 days. Instead of you complete in day 12, but now you complete in day 14. So this is resource scheduling. You understand? Here? Class, please. Understand or not?
Understand, doctor.
Okay, all right. And then because of this, you need to make changes on your network. Activity 1, no need to change. Activity 2, you need to change. Activity 2, because you start at week 6, so you finish at week 12. So activity 2, you start at week 6, finish at week 12. Instead of original one, you start week 2, finish week 8. Because the constraint of resources, so you need to modify your network based on the final scheduling. So you get this one. So this is your final scheduling. So this is, you can manage your resources properly. You don't need to add. You don't need to add any workers. Use, what do you have? 3 people. But you need to extend your project instead of finish at day 12. So finish at day 14. In order to manage, in order you don't want to add any people. Because you already have 3, so you manage to finish a project with 3 people. But you need to add the duration of the project 2 days. Okay. Okay, so this is the, basically they do computerize. Okay, I think that's all for this topic. This is a computerized system. So the impact resource scheduling, and then how to manage. Maybe you do splitting the activity or multitasking in order to manage the scheduling. Okay, because in order to add workers, so you need to add additional budget to add another workers. So in order to avoid that, maybe you split the job or you multitasking your workers. Okay. Okay, I think the rest is just explanation about the resource scheduling. But the most important thing in this project is to manage the schedule, to manage the workers, to manage the time, to manage the material, to manage the equipment, okay, to suit your availability. So in this case, you only have 3 people. Please manage your activities in such a way that every time you can use resources, what do you have? In this case, you only have 3 people, so make sure all the time maximum 3 people. If not, you need to hire another worker, need to add another cost. But of course, because of your constraint, maybe you cannot finish your job on time. Yeah. So in this case, instead of finish at day 12, you need to add another 2 days. But I believe you add 2 days is cheaper than you add 2 workers. Yeah, so in this case, you need to add 2 workers because you only have 3, but to complete this job, you must have 5. You need to have another 2. So I believe you extend your project 2 days is cheaper than you add 2 workers. So that's why we try to manage all the time. Maximum workers we need only 3. No need to have workers, but of course we need to add. We need to delay your project 2 days. But normally delay project 2 days is cheaper than add another 2 workers. Okay, any question? No question. Okay, I think I will stop here because I think we only left about 3 or 4 chapters more, and then maybe we continue after test another chapters. So, do you have anything to ask me before we start class today? Class? Oh, no question. Okay, if you have any question about the project, about the test, please ask me using our group WhatsApp. But because I'm outstation, I just worry maybe I have very limited coverage. So maybe I try to answer your question, but depend on our internet coverage lah. Because I going somewhere to do the job. Yeah. But no problem. You can ask me anytime. If I have coverage, I try to entertain you. Okay, all right. So if nothing to ask me, so I think attendant. Do you have attendant? Attendant list?
Not yet, doctor.
Okay, I ask Puan Aino to prepare attendant list.